It's 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm just doing my business. Reminding myself that I am more than what I have become. I am more than what happens to me. That I am not to be defined by my circumstances into becoming a victim, but rather I define my circumstances by becoming the victor, by doing something about it. And there is always something that can be done. And sometimes it is a difficult task, the action that you must take for you to discover that you are more. Sometimes it's letting people know that they can no longer be part of this journey. Sometimes it's taking all the money that you have and risking it all in one turn and perhaps losing it all. Sometimes it's walking away from that job, selling that car, selling that house. Sometimes it's losing sleep. Whatever it is, sometimes you have to do great things just so that you can define the moment and not let the moment define you. That's just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen. And always, always remember, you are more.
My name's Tom Oliver. I am a singer and an actor from Brisbane.
Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, I'm staying alive, staying alive. I feel the city breaking and everybody shaking. I'm staying alive, staying alive. Whoa, yeah. I've been waiting on the sunset, bills on my mindset. I can't deny it, I'm getting higher, higher than my income. Income's breadcrumbs, trying to survive. The glow that the sun gives right around. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody.
I've been in the industry professionally probably for about 8 years. I keep telling people that I'm on my 10th gap year from high school. I first met Gideon years ago when we did a short film for QUT, I think it was, and in recent years he's been a PT, a good friend and a mentor to me in terms of mental health and wellness. I guess there are so many times that I've felt throughout my career that times have been tough and that I probably didn't want to continue. I have this, the first thing that pops into my head when I think of a tough time in my career was when I made a decision to move to Melbourne because I thought that was where I needed to be, and I had a tour planned, and when I got there that tour was postponed to the end of the year. So I moved into this place, first time living out of home, had no money, and I expected to go to a job, and then I had no job. So I worked in some horrible places. Some great memories were made there, but I mean, I remember going into auditions in Melbourne and being so desperate because I needed to make money to survive. And I'd also said to my friends and family in Brisbane that I was going down to Melbourne to make a change. And I wasn't doing that, so I guess pride comes into play as well. But there's this one moment I remember I auditioned for a big musical that I was very suitable for. I'd been through a few auditions and then I didn't get in. And I remember just coming back to my apartment that I couldn't afford to rent. And I was just sitting in my room, my housemate was home, and I closed the door and I just started to cry. And I don't think I'd ever really let out my feelings as honestly as I had in that moment, because no matter what I tried, nothing really came off. So that was quite an early frustration. But in recent times, I'm sort of getting to this place where I've achieved now some things that I really wanted to achieve. Like I got a little place of my own. I've done some big shows, worked with some great artists. But now I'm at a turning point where I'm trying to figure out the next phase, and the knockbacks and the rejections that you get are kind of adding up after 10 years. And I'm loving the fact that now I've reconnected with Gideon and I'm making a change in terms of my approach to my health, but also it kind of carries on into my career and my everyday life, which I'm really loving. One tip that comes to mind is just achieving something small. It can be as simple as getting out of bed in the morning. It can be as simple as going to the gym. That is breaking it down to its most simplest form, is just setting out to do something, making breakfast, eating it, not having a beer tonight, having water. Like setting a small task and achieving it when you're in a negative headspace, I think is a really good tool. Life is like a box of chocolates, good old Forrest Gump. On the surface it probably doesn't mean much, but on a deeper level, chocolates are also delicious. But you have so many choices. You try something, it doesn't work, there are so many other glorious things that you can do to crack. And Forrest Gump can run fast, so we can all run fast also.
Oh, and just like that, game day is upon us. Well, not necessarily a game, it's a trial game. For those of you who didn't know, I help a good friend of mine, Luke Schramer, with strength and conditioning. So he's the head coach and I look after the fitness and strength and conditioning side of things. So these are the things we look forward to. We've just spent the last couple of months going through what we call pre-season, and that is to get them ready both skills and fitness wise for the season that lies ahead. A very long season, 21 rounds, I'm pretty sure it is. So we look forward to things like this because everything that we've taught them and put them through, you know, we want to see it come to fruition and help them become better players. You know, when you get attached to these players, you know, you build a bond with them, a brotherhood, whatever hood you want, you know, and yeah, so it's game day today. Excited and yeah, you know, I want to put my boots back on. You know, I think about some of my glory days.
Scored it all right. Well, I was a bit critical of Mzembe for not going inside on a couple of occasions. Well, he knew exactly what he was doing there. He was just waiting on his touchline for the miracle ball. He surely got this down. Yes, he has. And the Devils, 2 tries in a row to the Devils. And they are just putting some heat back on the Pride here.
But enough. So it's not about me, it's about the boys. So yeah, hopefully some of the boys can have a chat to the camera. If not, that's all good. You know, I understand you got to be switched on. It is what it is. Alrighty, let's go. Thanks guys for watching another vlog, another week down. What a week it's been this week. It's been a great week, into comparison from last week. Last week I took an L. If you didn't watch last week's episode, I took an L. And for those of you who don't know what an L is, it means I took a loss. And that's part of the territory of life, Every now and then you cop one and, it is what it is. I took it. And I appreciate the love and support that, people reached out and just reminded me of my mantra that I'm more than what I've become, I'm more than what happens to me. And that's exactly right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's that, not to be defined by your circumstances, but define your circumstances by doing something about it. And there's always something that can be done. My brother Tom says earlier in the vlog that when everything goes to hell, when everything just falls to pieces and you're in a dark space, it's about setting yourself to complete small tasks so you can feel the small wins, so you can get that small feel-good feeling again and again and again and gradually build yourself up back to where you were. And it's a very, very good reminder for those of you who are in a dark place right now that it's not over and you're not defined by what's happening to you. You are not the definition of that circumstances, but rather you are to define it by doing something about it. And believe me when I tell you this, there is always something that can be done. Why? Because you are more. You are more than what you've become. You are more than what happens to you. Circumstances cannot eventuate in your absence. They only eventuate because you are there. Therefore, you are irrelevant. You are powerful beyond measure. I need to tell you one more time, you are more than what you've become. You are more than what happens to you. You are more.